Hello, and welcome back to the making of the Chapel of Zenith. Today I'm going to be making the archway. So as you can see, I've already got the reference image in here. And I've already got my cube in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make this part here. I'm going to make this bottom part of the wall and just bring it all in. So I don't want it to be too thick, obviously. So probably about there. I'm just going to sculpt this out. Just pull these out. And make it into something that looks pretty cool. So I'm going to bevel this edge here. So I just put a bevel on it. I'm going to bring it to about here. It's probably going to need a couple on there. So maybe not. Maybe one. Maybe one should do it. Just so I can bring it out a little bit more. And just make that rough sort of curvish sort of shape. Doesn't have to be exact, as long as it looks more or less like that. It's sort of there. Now that one has been done, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to duplicate it. So I just duplicate the whole thing. I'll be doing that a couple of times. I'm going to make it a little bit taller. Just so it looks... gives it a little bit of variety, really. And you're not going to linger too much on the buildings, but I just personally think it's a good idea to give them a little bit of variety, just to break it up a little bit. So I shall duplicate that and bring that up. And it's going to need one more. So I'll probably bring this larger one up. So duplicate that and bring that up. And that should sit more or less exactly where I want it. So I'll just bring that up there. And that's a nice column, so I'm going to select them all and I shall join them. So they're all joined. And now for these individual ones that go up in a curve. I think what I'll do if I'll just use one of these again. So if I use that smaller one, I'm just going to duplicate it. I'm going to separate it though from the rest of them, so I can edit just this one. It's just so I can go ahead and start manipulating this one. So I'll just bring that up here, bring that across. Bring these back a little bit. And just make it look so it's curving up. Now since one is done, I can pretty much just duplicate it and bring it all the way up. So that's what I'm going to do. So let's just go ahead and duplicate this, and then I can edit it. I'm not too worried about not getting it exact, but I do want it to look pretty cool, so I'll just go ahead and start correcting the geometry. As long as it looks vaguely like it's supposed to, I think it should be fine. Of course, there's probably better ways of actually doing this, but I think this way is good for me. I just want to follow these curves a little bit more, just so I've got these nice curvature here and here. I'll do the same with this one, just to give it that, it's got that inner curve to it. This bit that runs in the middle, I'll do that in a second. But for now, I'll just bring these all where they need to go. And make sure that there's no glaringly obvious gaps or anything, because I think that wouldn't look good. So at the moment it's kind of looking like this, which I think looks pretty sweet. So it gives it a nice sort of design here. So I'm just going to continue on. Now some of these are going to be a bit smaller than the others, but yet again I'm not too worried. I just want to make it look as good as I can. Just take my time and get it done really. I mean, it's not taking that much time really. It's just a case of getting these things lined up in the proper places so that can come to here. just gives it that nice flow of geometry. That's what I like. Okay, duplicate that again. I only need to do this one side because I'm going to go ahead and mirror it to the other side eventually. So it's just a case of getting these in the right place now. This one's almost done then. Just want to straighten up this geometry just a little bit. Just so it makes it look correct. Again, one more duplicate. Now this one I think I will just rotate just a little bit. And then that way I can have this line as the center line. The rest of these vertices can just then go into their respective places, like so. Yeah, that's fine up there. I'm going to get rid of that. Zoom right in on this one. I don't have to go into too much detail with this because you're not really going to see. I mean, it's going to be quite dark, so you're not really going to see too much detail, but I do like to pay attention to all the little details just so it looks good. So they can, that's fine. So what I'm going to do is just straighten those up a little bit. And as you can see, you've got it. Look, I've got it looking like this now. And again, I'm going to select the whole thing. I'm going to join it up. And then I'm going to set the origin to the 3D geometry here. And let's put the mirror modifier on to see what happens. Of course, they do need to be a bit close together, but what I can do is simply just join up those vertices in the middle. So I'm going to apply that and just come in here and go ahead and join the vertices that are floating. So I'm just going to join those at the center. And then that's a nice sort of outer archway. So now what I want to do is I want to come in to put a couple of these in. It's about there. And this is going to be for those bits that kind of come in. So for that inner part there, I'm only going to put it on this bit here. I think it comes down. Does it come down a little bit more? I'm going to bring it to about the second one. And hopefully, if I can select, go ahead and select these. Put a little bit of a bevel on them, just to bring them out. That's fine. I'm going to select these faces that I've just made. So just select these faces. Select them all. And I'm going to extrude them just a little bit. A couple of bits that are sticking out, but I think we can get rid of those. Yeah, we should be able to get rid of those. I think that looks okay, because you're going to see it from about here, so shouldn't really be too much of a problem. So that's kind of almost there. Need to do the outer rim, but what I will probably do now, yeah, I think for those ones with the indents, I am going to, if I delete the faces like so, yeah, that'll make it look a little bit better. Yeah, that needs to come as well. I'll refix this in a sec. Well, you're not really going to see it, but I will fix that. So just get rid of all the faces that I don't need. Just so it is a bit smoother, really. So I don't have these random bits jutting out everywhere. Because although you're not really going to see that much of them, I know they're going to be there and they're going to annoy me. So if they're going to annoy me, they're probably going to annoy whoever's looking at this. So I think I'll just get rid of them completely. It's just getting rid of these faces really. Just so it looks a lot cleaner. Just making sure that I've got everything that needs to be deleted is deleted. Again, I'll fix wherever needs fixing. There we are. That looks better. Now I think the best way to fix this is if I put in a line down the back. Like so. That line can come forward a little bit. May need another one at the front. So there, and another one just there. And then what I can do is the vertices. So I'm going to merge at last. Bring it out so it doesn't look as sharp. And then all I've got to do is this part here. I need to do that one as well. So I merge those, but I merge those ones at center. To make sure that I've actually selected both of them. So that should create a nice... No, it's still doing it. So these probably haven't merged correctly. So it probably needs to come all the way around. As I just select the lines manually. And if I do F, that does that bit in there nicely. So now I've done both sides. I just quickly did the other side off camera. It was exactly the same as what I did this side. So now I've got this nice little archway ready to go onto the front of my chapel. And that's what it looks like. I may put on some... Let's see what it looks like with the shade smooth. Just gives it a little bit of a smoothing effect. And that looks good there. Okay, so now I can get rid of that. I'm going to save this. And I'm going to rotate this archway in the Z axis by, I think, minus 90 degrees. Just so I've got the So this is the back, and that's the front. So as per usual, I'm going to duplicate my little arch, and I'm going to put it with the rest of the duplicated things over here. I'm going to bring this forward a little bit. I'm going to bring this back into position. And I'm going to make sure that's where I want it. Bring that back a little bit. And that can come in here. So it looks pretty cool. So all I've got to do now is that top part around it. But that's just going to be very similar to what I've done here. So all I'm going to do with that is just do square and then bring it around a little bit. But then again, that looks pretty good as it is, so I might just leave it. So I kind of like that design. It doesn't look like anything's missing or anything, so I think I'll just leave it as that. What I will do though, I've got everything in there. Just to make sure I've got duplicates of everything. So I'm going to bring this thing forward. I'm going to bring that just in here. So I've got to decide now whether I want this piece. I want this piece duplicated and put the other side. I don't think it needs to be the other side, but I could. Let's see what it looks like just without. So if I just duplicate this, bring that back, turn it 180 degrees, just so I've got that to come back there. Bring it back a little bit more. So I think that works, kind of. So I bring that into the middle, because this is going to be the boolean that's going to go through these. So save it again, and then I'm going to do a save as, and I'm going to increase it by 1. And then I'm going to go into my boolean, and I'm going to select this object. Going to apply it. Let's get rid of this. Not sure exactly what's happened there. Seems to have intersected it for some bizarre reason. It's very strange. Anyway, just cut it through, so I don't know why it's... Oh well. As long as it worked, that's the main thing. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete these faces, because I don't really need them. Again, just get rid of them. So this is why you make a backup. So if I undo the whole thing, go back to that previous save. I'm just going to open... No, I'm not going to save that. So I'm going to go back to Blender 1. So yeah, so that's fine. So I'll just pop that in there. I'm going to do the Boolean. I'm going to put it onto fast. Apply it. Now I should be able to... Yeah, there you go. Okay, now I'm going to save it as that. Now I've got a wonderful inside that just needs a little bit of editing. But that's quite easy to do, and I can probably do that off camera because all I'm going to do is just simply join things up. So once I've done that, I can move on to the next phase of the chapel. So here's got the door. So the next part is doing the sides. So I'm going to do the sides with, and then make this, so the side stained glass windows, these little turrety bits that come out, and then I can move on to the bell tower, and then I can, once the front and the sides are done, I can move on to the back and do the big stained glass window at the back. And then I'll put a little room at the side for the priests, and then I can start texturing. So that's kind of the plan. But what I shall do, I shall come in here and I will join all these up. Just so there's not a massive gap in between it. And then move on. Okay, thank you, and I shall do the next one again. So see you later.